The email popped up on Asher Thompson's screen like a ghost from a forgotten grave. Family reunion, time to heal. It read, sent from his estranged father's account, the same one that had once delivered a curt dismissal 12 years prior. Asher stared at it, his successful life in San Francisco suddenly colliding with the painful memories of his small-town Ohio roots, where being gay had cost him everything. Asher had been 18 when it all shattered. Fresh out of high school, he'd mustered the courage to come out to his family during a tense Sunday dinner. His father, Robert, a stern factory manager and pillar of the local church, had exploded in rage, quoting Bible verses and slamming his fist on the table. "No son of mine will live like that," he'd bellowed, while his mother, Evelyn, wept silently, too afraid to intervene. By morning, Asher's bags were packed, and he was on a bus to anywhere but there, disowned and heartbroken. In the years that followed, Asher rebuilt himself from scratch. He landed in California, worked odd jobs to put himself through community college, then transferred to UC Berkeley on scholarships. His sharp mind for tech led him to Silicon Valley, where he co-founded a startup that revolutionized app-based logistics. By 30, he was a millionaire, his company acquired for a fortune. But success didn't erase the scars. It just layered them with accomplishments. Now at 30, Asher lived in a sleek apartment overlooking the bay, sharing it with his partner, Jamie, a kind-hearted graphic designer he'd met 5 years ago. Jamie was everything Asher had dreamed of: supportive, funny, and unapologetically himself. Their relationship was built on quiet evenings cooking together, weekend hikes in the hills, and the kind of deep conversations that made Asher feel seen for the first time. The email from his father stirred a whirlwind of emotions. Asher read it aloud to Jamie over breakfast. "They're organizing a family reunion at the old house. Says they've been thinking about me, wanna make amends." Jamie set down his coffee, his blue eyes narrowing. "After what they did? Kicking you out because of who you love? That's not an apology. That's convenience." Asher nodded, but a part of him wondered. His family's small town had changed little, still steeped in conservative values where LGBTQ rights were debated like abstract politics rather than human lives. Yet, rumors had reached him through distant cousins. His father's factory job was gone, the economy hit hard, and the family home was on the brink of foreclosure. Was this reconciliation or desperation? He decided to ignore it at first, focusing on work. But then came the calls. His sister, Sarah, whom he'd barely spoken to since leaving, left voicemails pleading for him to come back. "Dad's not the same, Asher. He's sorry. We all are." Each message chipped at his resolve, forcing him to confront the anger he'd buried. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the Golden Gate Bridge, Asher and Jamie sat on their balcony. "What if I go?" Asher asked. Jamie took his hand. "Only if it's for you, not them. You've built a life without their approval. Don't let them drag you back into that toxicity." But Asher couldn't shake the pull. He booked a flight to Ohio, telling himself it was closure, not forgiveness. Jamie insisted on coming, refusing to let Asher face it alone. As the plane descended into Cleveland, Asher's stomach knotted. The drive to Willow Creek felt like rewinding time. Familiar farms, the same faded billboards preaching family values. Arriving at the family home, a modest two-story with peeling paint, Asher parked the rental car. His father opened the door, looking older, frielier, his once imposing frame hunched. "Son," Robert said, voice cracking. Evelyn hovered behind, eyes red. Sarah and her kids rushed out, hugging him awkwardly. Inside, the tension was palpable. Over lukewarm coffee, Robert cleared his throat. "We were wrong, Asher. The church, the town. It influenced us. But seeing how you've succeeded, it's made us reflect." Asher's jaw tightened. Succeeded? Was that the key, his bank account? Jamie, sensing the undercurrent, squeezed Asher's knee under the table. The conversation veered into small talk, but cracks showed. When Asher introduced Jamie as his partner, Robert's smile faltered, and Evelyn changed the subject. Sarah whispered later, "They're trying, but it's hard for them." That night, In a motel room, Asher vented to Jamie. It's not about me being gay anymore. It's about what I can offer. Dad mentioned the house payments subtly. Jamie held him. You don't owe them anything. Your worth isn't your wallet. The next day brought more family. Uncles, aunts, cousins who'd once shunned him. They marveled at his stories of California, but whispers of envy and need lingered. An uncle pulled him aside. Heard you're doing well. Maybe you could help with the community center? It's falling apart. Asher felt the weight of their expectations. This wasn't healing. It was exploitation. Yet, a flicker of hope remained. Maybe genuine change was possible. As the reunion progressed, old wounds reopened, forcing Asher to question if blood ties could ever mend what prejudice had broken. The reunion stretched into the afternoon, with picnic tables laden with potluck dishes that reminded Asher of childhood Sundays. But the nostalgia soured quickly. His cousin Mark, a burly mechanic with the same conservative streak as Robert, cornered him by the grill. So, you're living that lifestyle out west, huh? Must be easy with all that tech money. The word lifestyle hit like a slap, reducing Asher's identity to a choice. Jamie overheard and stepped in, his voice steady. It's not a lifestyle. It's who he is, and we've built a good life together. Mark chuckled dismissively. No offense, just saying. Times are changing, but not everyone's on board. Asher pulled Jamie away, his chest tight. See? This is why I left. As evening fell, the family gathered around a bonfire. Robert stood, addressing the group. Asher, your mother and I want to say we're proud of you. You've overcome so much. Murmurs of agreement rippled through, but Asher sensed the subtext. Sarah leaned in. Dad's medical bills are piling up. The factory closed, and insurance doesn't cover everything. The revelation stung. Asher excused himself, walking to the edge of the property where he'd once played as a kid. Jamie joined him. They're using your success as a lifeline, but forgiveness shouldn't come with strings. Asher nodded, tears welling. I thought maybe they'd changed, but it's the same judgment, just masked with need. Back in San Francisco, life had been different. Asher and Jamie had friends who celebrated their love, attending pride parades, hosting dinner parties where being gay was just one facet of who they were. Here, in Willow Creek, it felt like a spotlight, every glance loaded with unspoken opinions. The next morning, over breakfast at the house, tensions escalated. Evelyn asked about their arrangement, probing if they planned to settle down properly. Jamie politely but firmly corrected her. We are settled. Marriage is legal now, you know? Robert shifted uncomfortably. We know, but in our community, it's still controversial. Asher exploded. Controversial? You kicked me out at 18. I was homeless because of your controversy. The room fell silent. Robert's face reddened. We thought we were saving your soul. The pastor said. The pastor? Asher interrupted. What about my heart? I loved you all, and you threw me away. Evelyn sobbed. Sarah tried to mediate. We're sorry, Asher. Truly. But we need you now. The house. We might lose it. There it was, the ask. Asher stood. So that's what this is? You banish me for being gay? Then beg when I'm rich? Robert protested. It's not like that. We've reflected. The town has too. There's a support group now. But Asher wasn't convinced. He and Jamie left early, driving back to the airport in heavy silence. On the flight home, Asher confided, part of me wants to help. They're family. Jamie replied, family doesn't abandon you then return for handouts. Think about what you need. Back in California, the emails continued. Robert wrote about his health scare, a mild heart attack, and how the bills were overwhelming. Sarah called, saying the kids missed their uncle. Asher wrestled with guilt. His success had come from resilience, but did that mean turning his back now? He confided in a therapist, unpacking the layers of betrayal. They rejected me for loving men, but now my money makes me palatable? The sessions helped, but the conflict raged. Jamie supported him unconditionally, reminding him of their shared dreams. A home, maybe kids through adoption. One day, Asher received news that sealed his turmoil. His startup's latest venture hit it big, pushing his net worth into 8 figures. With it came the ability to buy his dream, a $1 million mansion in the hills. As he and Jamie toured properties, Asher's mind wandered back to Ohio. They settled on a stunning Spanish-style home with ocean views, a symbol of their hard-won happiness. Closing the deal felt like closure. But then, a package arrived from Evelyn. Old photos, a letter begging for reconciliation. "We see now how wrong we were. Please, come home." Asher showed Jamie. "What if I buy them time? Pay off the mortgage anonymously?" Jamie frowned. "That enables them. Real change comes from within, not your checkbook." The debate consumed their evenings. Asher researched LGBTQ rights in small-town America, reading stories of similar estrangements. Some families evolved, others clung to bigotry. He wondered where his fit. Finally, Asher decided to visit again, alone this time to test the waters. Landing in Ohio, he rented a car and drove straight to the house. Robert answered, surprise etching his face. "Asher? What brings you?" "I heard about the heart attack," Asher said. They sat in the living room, the air thick with unspoken words. Robert admitted, "I was scared. Made me think about regrets." For the first time, he apologized without caveats. "I was wrong to kick you out. Fear and ignorance ruled me." Asher listened, emotions swirling. Was this sincere or prompted by desperation? As they talked late into the night, Evelyn joined, sharing how she'd attended a PFLAG meeting. "I learned so much. I wish I'd known then." Hope flickered, but doubt lingered. Asher left promising to think about it, his heart torn between past pain and possible redemption. Back in San Francisco, Asher shared the visit with Jamie over dinner at their new mansion. The house was a haven. High ceilings, a gourmet kitchen, and a backyard pool where they hosted friends. "Dad seemed genuine," Asher said. Jamie nodded cautiously. "Actions speak louder. Have they reached out to me? Accepted us?" The question hung heavy. Asher knew the answer, no. His family's overtures focused on him, skirting the reality of his relationship. It felt like conditional acceptance. Welcome back, but leave the gay part at the door. As weeks passed, the pleas intensified. Sarah texted about the foreclosure notice. "We need help, Asher. You're our only hope." Guilt gnawed at him. He confided in colleagues, who shared their own stories of family rejection turned reconciliation. One said, "Money changes perspectives, but does it change hearts?" Asher pondered that. His success had shielded him from discrimination in progressive California, but in Ohio it highlighted societal divides. Wealth bought influence, but could it buy forgiveness? He decided to test it. He wired money anonymously to cover the mortgage for a year, attaching a note, "For family." The response was immediate, grateful calls, invitations to visit. But when Asher mentioned bringing Jamie, hesitation crept in. "Maybe next time," Robert said. "The town's not ready." Anger flared. Asher confronted them over video call. "You want my money but not my partner? That's not acceptance. That's hypocrisy." Evelyn teared up. "We're trying. Give us time." Sarah added, "The church is divided on this." Some members left when the pastor mentioned inclusivity. The call exposed the broader conflicts. Willow Creek's community torn between tradition and progress. Anti-LGBTQ sentiments clashed with economic realities, as younger generations pushed for change. Asher's story had become local gossip, the prodigal son who struck gold, now a symbol of what they'd lost. Inspired, Asher researched more. He found online forums where others debated similar dilemmas. Should success obligate aid to those who harmed you? Opinions split, some advocated grace, others boundaries. It mirrored his internal struggle. Jamie, sensing Asher's turmoil, planned a surprise weekend getaway to Big Sur. Driving along the coast, they talked openly. "I support whatever you choose," Jamie said. "But remember, our life here is real. Don't sacrifice it for ghosts." Asher kissed him, grateful for the anchor. Upon returning, a bombshell email arrived. Robert inviting them both to a town event. We've joined a support group. Want to show we're changing. Skeptical, Asher agreed, booking flights. Arriving in Willow Creek, they were greeted warmly, but whispers followed Jamie. At the event, a community fair, old friends approached cautiously. One, a former classmate, said, "Heard about you too. Congrats." But others stared, and Mark muttered something about California liberals. Tension peaked when the pastor spoke, praising diversity vaguely without specifics. Afterward, at dinner, Robert raised a toast to new beginnings. Jamie smiled politely, but later confided to Asher, "It feels performative." Asher agreed, yet saw glimmers. Evelyn asking genuine questions about their life. Sarah's kids excitedly showing drawings of Uncle Asher and Uncle Jamie. The visit ended on a high note, but back home, doubt resurfaced. Asher's company faced a PR crisis when a conservative investor pulled out, citing his personal choices. It echoed his past, reminding him prejudice persisted even in success. He threw himself into advocacy, donating to LGBTQ causes. Jamie joined, their bond strengthening through shared purpose. But the family's needs persisted. Another medical bill, more pleas. Asher faced a crossroads. Cut ties or engage? He chose the latter, inviting them to California. "See my world," he said. Robert and Evelyn accepted, arriving wide-eyed at the mansion. Touring the house, Robert marveled. "You've done well, son." Over dinner, conversations deepened. Jamie shared his coming-out story, parallels drawing empathy. Evelyn admitted, "I was scared of losing you to that world, but now I see it's not that world. It's yours." Tears flowed as Robert confessed, "I failed you. No excuse." For the first time, Asher felt heard. But when they attended a pride event nearby, discomfort showed. Robert fidgeted. Evelyn looked away. Back at the house, Asher pressed, "Can you accept us fully?" Robert hesitated. "I'm trying. The town. My friends." It was the crux, personal change versus societal pressure. The visit ended bittersweetly. As they left, Evelyn hugged Jamie. "Your family too. Progress but incomplete." Asher reflected on the journey. Success had opened doors, but healing required more. He continued supporting them financially with conditions. Attend counseling, advocate locally. Months later, news came. Willow Creek's church split over LGBTQ inclusion. Robert siding with progressives. A small victory, but meaningful. Yet questions lingered. Had money facilitated change, or was it genuine? Asher and Jamie discussed it endlessly, their love a constant amid the chaos. As the seasons turned, Asher's life balanced between coasts. He visited Ohio sporadically, each trip revealing layers of complexity. The family's gratitude evolved, but so did the conflicts. Sarah's husband, a traditionalist, clashed with Asher during one dinner, arguing, "Gay marriage is fine elsewhere, but here it disrupts our values." Jamie, present that time, countered calmly, "Values that exclude love? That's not community. That's exclusion." The argument escalated, ending with Asher and Jamie leaving early. In the car, Asher sighed. "See? Surface change only." Back in San Francisco, their mansion became a sanctuary. They hosted fundraisers for LGBTQ youth, turning personal pain into purpose. Friends admired their resilience, but Asher confided in Jamie, "Sometimes I wonder if I'm buying their affection." A turning point came when Robert suffered another health scare. Hospitalized, he called Asher. "I don't want your money this time. Just you." Asher flew out immediately, Jamie by his side. At the bedside, Robert whispered, "I've been reading, talking to others. I was wrong about everything." Evelyn nodded, holding his hand. "We've lost friends over this, but gained understanding." For hours they talked raw, honest. Asher shared his loneliness after being kicked out, the fear of rejection that lingered. Jamie added how it affected their relationship, the caution in trusting families. Robert teared up. "I robbed you of that. Forgive an old fool." Asher paused, emotions surging. "Forgiveness is a process. But I'm here. Discharged, Robert joined a local advocacy group, speaking at meetings about his regrets. Word spread, sparking debates in Willow Creek. Some praised the change. Others accused hypocrisy, whispering, "Only because his son's loaded." Asher heard the rumors through Sarah. It fueled town-wide discussions on social media, posts debating if wealth influenced morality, if late apologies counted. One viral thread read, "Banished for being gay, returns a millionaire. Family begs. Redemption or opportunism?" The controversy reached Asher, who chose not to engage publicly. Privately, it tested him. Jamie suggested therapy together, strengthening their bond. "We're in this as a team," he said. As Asher's company grew, offers poured in, speaking engagements, book deals about his journey. He accepted selectively, focusing on stories of resilience. One interview went viral, detailing his estrangement and tentative reconciliation. Comments flooded. Supportive voices mixed with critics claiming he enabled bigotry by helping. The backlash stung. A former friend from Ohio messaged, "You're fooling yourself. They'll never fully accept you." It echoed Asher's fears, leading to a heated call with Robert. "Is this real, or just for show?" Robert assured him, "It's real. I've cut ties with those who won't change." Proof came when Robert attended a pride rally in Cleveland. Photo evidence sent to Asher. Evelyn joined too, wearing a "Love is Love" pin. Moved, Asher invited them to the mansion for Thanksgiving. The gathering was awkward at first, cultural clashes evident. But as they shared stories, barriers crumbled. Robert asked Jamie about his art, genuinely interested. Evelyn helped in the kitchen, laughing over recipes. Around the table, toasts turned emotional. Asher raised his glass. To second chances. Later, alone with Jamie, he admitted, "This feels possible." But reality intruded. Back home, Robert faced backlash. Vandalism on his car, slurs scrawled. He called Asher voice-shaken. "Worth it, though. For you." The incident highlighted ongoing societal struggles. Progress in America uneven, pockets of hate persisting. Asher responded by funding local initiatives, scholarships for LGBTQ youth in Willow Creek. It sparked more debate. Was he buying influence or driving change? Jamie and Asher discussed adoption, their dreams solidifying. "Our family will be different," Jamie said, "built on acceptance." The process began, adding joy amid turmoil. A year after the initial email, Asher reflected on the path. Success had been the catalyst, but emotions drove the narrative. Conflicts remained, holidays tense, opinions clashing, but bonds strengthened. One evening, watching the sunset from their porch, Asher turned to Jamie. "Was it worth it?" Jamie smiled. "You tell me." Asher knew. The journey had healed parts of him, but scars reminded him of the cost. As ties mended, Asher pondered the bigger picture. In a divided society, could personal success bridge ideological gaps, or did it merely highlight inequalities? The mending continued, fragile yet persistent. Asher and Jamie welcomed Robert and Evelyn for a summer visit, turning the mansion into a bridge between worlds. Activities included city tours, where Robert marveled at diversity, and quiet dinners dissecting past hurts. One night, over wine, Robert shared a revelation. "I volunteered at a shelter for homeless LGBTQ kids. Saw myself in the parents who abandoned them." Evelyn added, "It broke my heart. We were those parents." Asher listened, forgiveness budding but cautious. Jamie facilitated, asking probing questions. "What would you say to your younger self?" Robert replied, "Love your child unconditionally." The conversation marked a shift, from pleas to partnership. Back in Ohio, changes rippled. Sarah organized a town hall on inclusion, Robert speaking. Attendance was mixed, but seeds planted. Asher funded it remotely, careful not to overshadow. Personal milestones amplified emotions. Asher and Jamie's adoption application progressed. They prepared for a child. Sharing the news with family elicited joy. Evelyn knitting blankets, Robert offering advice. But subtle biases emerged. Will the kid have two dads? How'll that work in school? Asher addressed it firmly. Like any family with love. It prompted more growth, Robert reading books on modern families. Conflicts arose externally. A national debate on LGBTQ rights intensified, with Willow Creek's senator opposing protections. Robert wrote letters protesting a first. Asher praised him but wondered. Without his influence, would this happen? The mansion symbolized Asher's triumph, but also isolation. Friends questioned his involvement. Why bother? They hurt you. Jamie defended. Healing isn't linear. It's his choice. A crisis tested everything. Robert's factory reopened under new management, offering jobs but with anti-LGBTQ policies. Robert refused, citing principles. Unemployment followed, straining finances. He called Asher not for money, but support. Did I do right? Asher affirmed. Yes, integrity over ease. He helped with resumes, not checks, fostering independence. As bonds deepened, Asher authored an op-ed on reconciliation, sparking national discourse. Responses varied, praise for hope, criticism for naivety. It mirrored societal divides, progress versus entrenchment. Jamie and Asher married in a small ceremony at the mansion, inviting family. Robert walked Asher down the aisle, tears streaming. Evelyn danced with Jamie, acceptance evident. The event healed wounds, but Asher knew vigilance was key. Years condensed into moments. Holidays shared, grandkids, adopted, bonding with grandparents. Yet undercurrents persisted, occasional slips, like Robert's outdated jokes, corrected gently. Asher's story became a touchstone for others, inspiring dialogues on forgiveness in divided times. Success had opened the door, but empathy walked through. In quiet reflection, Asher pondered the journey's essence. From banishment to Pleas, it challenged norms. Does wealth validate worth? Can prejudice yield to love? The narrative closed not with resolution, but inquiry, inviting contemplation on human frailty and resilience. Is true reconciliation possible when motivated by need, or does genuine change require sacrifice without reward?